Hope. Hope, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Thank you for joining the program today. And you sent me some pictures and videos. I'm going to play one of the videos right now for the audience. Then we'll come back and elaborate on it. All right? Let me.
Okay, no problem.
On earth, everything that we have, we shall leave it. So what we are doing, we are going to fight back. We are starting strategic groups in Ihubro, in Sunnyside, in Point Durban, in Khayelitsha, Cape Town. We have recruited some locals, which are the colored community that are willing to help us. We have got guns, so we are going to equip every group with at least 8 guns. At least 8 guns. These guns are not traceable. If anybody, you suspect that it's anybody who is coming after your life, we are going to shoot to kill. In as much as these people they are saying they're going to kill us, we are also going to kill them. It's going to be half-half, or they're going to be more on their side who are going to die. We are starting groups for all the Mozambicans, all the Malawians, all the Nigerians, all the Ghanaians, all the Pakistans, the Egyptians, and everybody who is there in this country who knows that is a foreigner. You must belong to a certain group. Whenever anything happens to you and you feel that you are being cornered by these idiots, you call, you send a message on the group, and then we will drive in our numbers. We have got the cars. We have gathered now almost about 687 cars that are ready to pounce on any of these idiots. What we are going to do, we have got some AK-47s that have come through the Koopfontein border. These guns, they are already in Rustenburg.
Hello, Hope.
Hi.
Okay. You heard that. You sent it to me. You sent it to me. So,
Yes.
who exactly is speaking? Who's the person
Who's
in the
speaking?
view?
This person is unknown.
Unknown person, right?
Yes.
So, what is going on? Tell us. It's like what this guy is saying is politically driven.
Yeah, he
Because,
is. He is.
yes.
Yes, you can say that again. But then, from my point of view, is that there's a thing, Operation Tutula here in South Africa. But then it is not xenophobic. It says that all undocumented foreigners should go back to their countries, because of there is no country that can tolerate the undocumented foreigners. For instance, if I go to the United States without being undocumented, I will be deported back to South Africa. It's the law of each and every country, as far as I'm concerned. So they also want that thing, the very same thing, to happen here in South Africa. They want all undocumented foreigners to go back to their countries. That's all that they're fighting for. So, but then foreigners says that they also want to fight back. So that's what's causing the havoc, the conflict.
But he was also saying that anyone that supports a certain political group will be attacked. That is why I said his statement is politically driven. So
Yes.
what? Yes, go ahead.
In South Africa, we've got so many political parties, but then the ones that are leading now is DA, Democratic Alliance, and then EFF, which stands for Economic Freedom Fighters, and the ANC. The leading party is the ANC, African National Congress. So these parties are fighting because of we are towards elections. So there are rumors saying that the EFF gave this thing, what you call, foreign nationals ID documents and stuff, so that in 2024, the foreign nationals can vote for the leader of the EFF. So the president of the ANC was told that if you do not let these undocumented foreigners leave South Africa, come 2024, no South African, nobody actually will vote for you. Instead, we will ban all the voting stations. That's what he was told.
Hmm. So it's like the political party is trying to use money to buy some foreign nationals, right?
To
To
vote for
vote.
to vote for him so that he wins the presidentially.
Mm, 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 mm. And undocumented, some are undocumented in the country. So,
Yes,
like it's like the political party is trying to use foreigners to win election, which
that's
is
what I think.
which is undemocratic.
That's
Very,
true.
very democratic. No,
Very
Mr.
true.
Kodebe, Mr. Kodebe is here. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Hello, Mr. Kodebe.
Yes, thank you so much. We had
Welcome
electricity
back.
problem here.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
okay. Okay, no problem.
We just played
So,
the video of that of the guy, unknown person that was
Okay.
threatening to attack foreigners. So, with what is going on in South Africa right now, xenophobia is not new in the history of South Africa. This upcoming election, it seems that the political party, a certain political party, is trying to use the foreign nationals to gain popularity. So other groups are attacking any foreign national that will support this political party. So there is this politics embedded in this violence, this xenophobic violence against foreign nationals in the country. And this thing is affecting many Nigerians there, especially the innocent ones. So, Hope, can you tell us a little bit about what is going on with Nigerians in South Africa? And you told me this morning that some people were killed in different states in the country. Go ahead.
truly speaking, I do not know why those people were killed. But then what I heard is that they were in a tavern in Soweto, that's a location. And then two men walked into that club and then they started shooting. And then 16 people died at that scene. Okay, it was on a Saturday night. And then the whole week passed. The other weekend, in another location in Alexandra, 7 people were killed, you know? And then when was it? Yesterday, 2 were killed more. And then they thinking that all those people that have died are South Africans and they were killed by foreign nationals. So those people from Soweto, they're saying that an eye for an eye, you know? So since they're killing us, we should also kill them back because of the police hasn't arrested anyone. You know, they're still searching.
Mhm.
Yes. And then this guy is a Zimbabwean national. I don't know what happened in Diepsloot. I'm thinking that it's an informal settlement. So these foreign nationals were fighting South Africans. And then South Africans, I don't know what happened. They went to the shack and then they found him with his wife and children. And then he tried running away from those people, only to find that there are more waiting for him at the gate.
Oh,
What happened is that they poured him with petrol and set him on fire, and then he died on the scene.
really?
That triggered the Zimbabweans. The Zimbabweans also sent a message. It trended everywhere. That message was saying that after we bury our brother in Zimbabwe, we are coming back to kill South Africans. So it's a conflict.
The conflict is obvious. Mr. Kodebe, what is the security of foreign nationals in South Africa right now, especially Nigerians? Go ahead, sir. Oh, you cannot hear us. You
Sorry.
cannot
But
hear.
then Nigerians are being accused of human trafficking and drugs, you know? But then, yes, they do drugs and human trafficking, but then not all Nigerians do that, you know? Some of them,
Mm,
they here for business because of they've opened spaza shops, you know? There's mini markets and stuff. But then because of they saw maybe 1 or 2 Nigerians selling drugs, they thinking that all Nigerians are doing that.
mm,
I myself, I asked my friend, this other guy, his name is Steve. I asked him, why are Nigerians selling drugs to children? And then he said that we as Nigerians, we do not force these children to take drugs. They come to us to come buy drugs. And then I asked him, are you not a parent? How can you sell a drug to a minor? I mean, you should be a parent. Think that if it was my child, what were you going to do? You're not only killing the child, you're also killing the parents because of the parents were looking up to the child. Now the child is now a drug smoker, is now addicted to drugs. What are you saying? You said that he's here for money. Whoever buys drugs, they want to buy drugs. Who doesn't want to buy drugs, doesn't want to buy drugs. That's what he
Lord
told me.
have mercy. Really?
Yep, that's what he said to me.
So,
Yeah.
Mr. Kodebe, Mr. Kodebe, So, according to what Hope just summarized, that some Nigerians are responsible for criminal activities in the country. You understand? Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so do you want me to come in now?
Please.
Yes, unfortunately, I missed some of the things you said, but um, I want to say that this problem of xenophobia in South Africa is not as straightforward as we are seeing it. Or apartheid that was in South Africa is the root cause of this problem. The white man got to South Africa.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, as I was saying.
Mm,
So when you interview maybe South Africans, not foreign nationals,
mm,
they say that no, we're not being xenophobic. The only thing that we want is for undocumented foreign nationals to go back home and fix their papers. They may come back. They're welcome to come back. But then when I interviewed maybe Zimbabwean nationals, some saying that they're not going anywhere. You know, they're not going anywhere. They're here to stay. You know. That's what they're saying. They say that most of us have children with South African nationals, so we're not going anywhere. That's what they're saying.
I might not be able to display these pictures. This
Mm-hmm.
one is saying that uh, EFF office in Hillbrow is manufacturing fake South African IDs in big numbers so that Zumbos and Nigerians will vote for EFF in 2024. That is the reason why EFF is fighting Operation Dudula, because
Yes.
Operation Dudula is actually disturbing EFF vision.
Yeah,
So, yes, go
that
ahead.
that video went viral. You know, it went viral, and that in that police station, that is
Mm,
my police station. If I wanna go to a police station to do an affidavit or something, I go to that very same police station. You understand? So I know the police station, but then what I don't know is why would the EFF do this? But then I have seen that party, and then they were singing that whether you're a Nigerian, you're a Ghanaian, or South African, the fact remains that you are an African.
mm,
That's what they were singing, and which is true. But then they're saying that all borders, there should be no border to South Africa. You know, everyone can walk in and out as they please.
mm,
Yes, that's what the EFF's motive is about. So the ANC is the one that fought apartheid, you know.
mhm,
So the ANC is from Nelson Mandela. So we're still being ruled by that party.
mm.
So people call it xenophobia, but then we do not see it as xenophobia because of I cannot go to a foreign country undocumented. Obviously, when I get to that country, they will deport me back to South Africa. So what's so different about South Africa? Why can't everyone be here in a legal way? Not illegal, but legal way. That's all that South Africans are asking for. So when I interview most of them, that's what I get. That's what I get.
Hmm.
So we also have
Okay,
Pakistans, we also have Indians, you know, we've got Chinese, white people, they're all foreigners. But then they documented. We are fighting only those that are undocumented.
Good. Mm.
That's what they say.
That is what they will say. That is what they will say. But people are saying, or those who are watching are saying that there is a kind of a xenophobic attitude attached
Yeah.
to this idea of attacking foreign nationals in the country.
Uh-huh.
Yes, we have seen that over and over again in South Africa. So, Mr. Kojeve, go ahead, sir. Quickly.
yeah,
Oh,
you see,
mm,
this issue of xenophobia in South Africa is very complex to understand. What people should understand is this: the native South Africans do not know what happened during apartheid outside the country, outside South Africa. What happened is not known to them. Because when the apartheid government was in force and was in power, they made sure they cut off the whole of South Africa from the rest of Africa. So they were living in a world of their own. They knew nothing about Africans. The few of them who escaped, like the ANC members, Thabo Mbeki, Steve Chiwete,
Jacob Zuma.
Jacob Zuma, and so many others, they were collaborating with African governments to fight apartheid in South Africa. And that collaboration is what led to the death of Samora Machel when he was coming from Zambia, going back to Maputo in Mozambique. His plane was shot somewhere around the Limpopo or thereabout, and the man died, the president of Mozambique. So the
Yes,
point
yes,
I'm making is this. Yes, the point I'm making is this. Native South Africans do not even know that other Africans helped them during apartheid.
They don't know.
Because they never know, and you cannot blame them. Because what I don't know, I don't know. So this is one problem they are facing. Now, those of them who went out, like Thabo Mbeki, Jacob Zuma, Steve Chiwete, and so many others, they were living like kings in other African countries because governments like Ghana and Nigeria, Zambia, Kenya, and others, they gave them money with which to fight apartheid. Money not being accounted for because the ANC was not registered in those countries more or less, and in South Africa they are illegal, so they don't audit the accounts. I hope you are getting me now.
Yeah, I am getting you.
Yes.
But then,
So because, excuse me, thank you. Because
okay.
the account is not being.
I'm not hearing you properly. Yes.
What is that, sir? Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, because the account is not properly, the account of the ANC while they were outside and the PAC was not audited. These men were living like kings outside at the expense of the organization because they got so much money at their disposal. So when apartheid ended in 1994, they started going back to South Africa. That source of free money they were used to was no longer available. So when they formed the government, they descended heavily on the treasury, on state account. Yeah, they descended heavily on the state account, and there was massive corruption in South Africa, colossal, unprecedented. Now, that led to a crisis in the year, I think, 2004, thereabout. Thabo Mbeki had cause to set up a commission of inquiry headed by one, I will remember the name very soon, Heifer Commission in Bloemfontein. The commission sat in 2004 to find out if a man called Bulalani Nuka was an apartheid spy. Bulalani Nuka was the director of public prosecution in South Africa at that time. Now, this man was exposing colossal corruption in the system. So those who were being exposed now accused him of being a spy during the apartheid era. Now, at the end of the inquiry in Bloemfontein, Justice Heifer came to the conclusion that Bulalani Nuka was probably not an apartheid spy. That was the conclusion. Now, the crux of the matter is this. There was a company called Tails Arms Manufacturing Company in France. Jacob Zuma was accused, rightly or wrongly, I don't know. He was accused of corruption to the tune of 2.5 billion US dollars in form of bribery, fraud, money laundering, and weapons contract award to this company in France. That led to the crisis. So at the end of the day, a lot of things came out. For example, there was a man called Shabi Sheikh. He was the financial advisor of Jacob Zuma. Shabi Sheikh was thinkingly corrupt to the extent that they took him to court and he was found guilty as charged. The judge was Justice Hilary Squares. He sat in Durban. Nkobi Holdings and a lot of companies were indicted. So this is just less than 1% of corruption cases in South Africa. Now, with this monumental corruption taking place, there is no government anywhere in the world that will be able to provide employment for its citizens. This is the root cause of the problem in South Africa. There's too much corruption in government. Then the other aspect is this. The other aspect is this. The government of the ANC, they are behaving irresponsibly somehow, because when they returned from exile, they did not tell native South Africans what other Africans did for them. So in 1994, when they gained independence, when Zimbabweans, Nigerians, Ghanaians, Kenyans, Uganda started flooding South Africa, the people asked them, where were you while we were fighting? Where are you coming from? We don't know you. You didn't assist us in any way while we were fighting. And they are correct, because they were cut off from the rest of Africa. So this is the problem. Okay.
May I say something? In the
Yes.
whole Africa, Africa is a continent, only 3 countries were allowed South Africans to stay there as refugees, which is Angola, Namibia, and Zambia. And then we stayed there at the refugees camp, while each and every other country rejected South Africans. They rejected South Africans.
Okay, let me come in. That assertion is not true. Here in the Gambia where I live, there was a lady called Susan Maziboku.
Maziboku.
Maziboku, she was in the Gambia. In Nigeria, during my primary school days, there was what they call South African Relief Fund. Do you know that Thabo Mbeki lived in Nigeria? Are you aware?
Not Thabo Mbeki, but the father.
Okay. What about this man of Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe? Lived in Ghana, he schooled in Ghana, did everything in Ghana, as far as education is concerned. It is not true that other Africans were driving you out of their countries. This is the wrong impression created by the apartheid government. The white regime was sending wrong information to the blacks in South Africa that other African countries are driving you from their country in order for them to be, not to be in good relation, maintain good relationship with other Africans. Please, it is not true that they were driven out of other African countries. No African country ever drove them. Let me tell you, in Zambia, I still remember during the apartheid era, the South African Defense Force sent warplanes to Zambia to bomb ANC bases in Zambia. People suffered a lot for South Africans. But the unfortunate thing is that the ANC as a party did not educate North Africans what they went through in other African countries.
Okay. So, because of they helped South Africans, they helped South Africans, and then they were put in camps, refugee camps. So, should we as South Africans also keep them in refugee camps? That's what we should do. Don't you think it's a good thing?
Excuse me. There was no refugee camp in Nigeria. Please take note. Where was it located?
I don't know. In Africa. I'm still looking for that. No. I'm still looking for it.
Please, whenever you whenever you have access to this information, let us know.
Okay.
In the Gambia where I live, there's no refugee camp. In fact, the Gambia has never maintained a refugee camp for anybody.
We're speaking of Zimbabwe. We're talking of Nigeria. We're talking of
No, excuse me. I'm a Nigerian. I was born and bred in Nigeria. I schooled in Nigeria up to university level. There is no place in Nigeria, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that was a camp, what's it called, a refugee camp for natives of South Africa. Instead, Nigeria spent billions of dollars fighting South African cause. How can we be spending such a huge amount of money, and at the same time, we are keeping South Africans in, refugee camps? It's not true.
It's not true. So please tell me this. when you say that is not true. So when Nigerian paid millions and millions of dollars for South Africa to help South Africa, did South Africa maybe, was it an agreement, or did South Africa maybe agree to pay Nigeria back, or that's what I don't know. Was it a loan or what?
No, it was not loan. It was assistance. We
A
call it South
handout.
African Relief Fund.
Oh,
We have
okay.
never asked them to pay back anything. When I was in the primary school, we donated. You understand me?
Oh,
Our
okay.
lunch money, we donated to South African Relief Fund. You see, the problem
Okay.
you guys are having in South Africa about other Africans is created by the ANC. They
Oh,
receive
okay.
the money. They receive the money on behalf of South Africa, but they never let you know that they are receiving money. And when the
Yeah.
war ended, the war of apartheid ended, they did not educate any South African.
Okay.
This is the crux of the matter. So I do not blame the South Africans for their wrong impression, because that is what they know. And
Yes,
I do
yes.
not blame Africans for going to South Africa, because we assisted South Africans. The blame is on ANC, and take it or leave it. The ANC government is too corrupt. It is
Very corrupt. You
corruption that
can
is
say that
causing
again.
unemployment. It is corruption that is causing unemployment in South Africa. Not
Yeah,
Zeno, I
it
mean,
is
not
corruption.
it's corruption. The amount of corruption taking place there is very frightening.
I
You see,
agree with
as
you.
I
I
was
agree with you.
telling you, in the year, was it 2004 or thereabout, Tales Manufacturing Company was into a business deal, more or less, with Jacob Zuma to the tune of 2.5 billion US dollars. Jacob Zuma up to today cannot account for that money. If you convert 2.5 billion US dollars into rands, you know how much that will be. Not to talk of his dealings with the Gupta family during the state council. Not to talk of his dealings with Shabi Sheikh. That is Jacob Zuma alone. It's very frightening. This amount of money we are mentioning, if you give it to the Gambia, it's enough to run our budget here for 10 good years.
That's true.
That's what the consumer alone is embezzling. So the issue is, the problem in South Africa is created by South Africans. It's not created by foreigners. We never drove any South Africa from any African country during the apartheid era. We never did it. And it's going to be very difficult to convince any South African that we never did those things.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard because of, I think that maybe most of South Africans were brainwashed because of, you only know that only three countries accommodated us, and we were locked in those refugee camps.
No, there was no
You know?
refugee. Look, let me tell you. In Zimbabwe, for example, Zimbabwe got their independence in 1980 after the Lancaster House Agreement talks in the UK. When they gained the independence, the ANC used that place as a base to fight South Africa. That is
Oh,
why
okay.
they did not know peace. If you get what I mean? Now, how can
I
I use my
understand.
country as a base to fight South Africa, and at the same time, I'm keeping Africans in refugee camps? It is not true. Those people saying that there were refugee camps in Zimbabwe, they should tell us where they were located. Is it in Bulawayo, or in Kwekwe, or in Harare? I mean, they should tell us specifically where those camps were located. It is not true. It is not true.
Oh, okay.
So, is it only South Africa that you have many foreign nationals in
No,
Africa?
I
You
don't know
see,
about
no.
Africa.
The issue is this. The issue of foreigners is a very common. Moving up and down, there are a lot of reasons responsible. After 1969, there were so many Africans in Ghana. I hope you are hearing me,
I'm listening.
including Nigerians, Sierra Leoneans, Kenya. There were so many in Ghana. But in 1969, they had a president called Kofi Busia, who said all foreigners must leave. So they promulgated a law they called the Aliens Compliance Order of 1969. And all foreigners, including Nigerians, thousands, they went back home. That was in Ghana. Then during
Okay.
Shagari's administration in Nigeria, We asked all foreigners who are not documented to leave. The Ghanaians went back in large numbers. The Zambians, they did it during the time of Frederick Chiluba. The Kenyatta was very receptive to foreigners. But when Chiluba came, he asked all of them to go.
Oh,
So
okay.
this issue of foreigners to leave our country is not new in Africa. It has been happening. But the main cause is economic problems. No, because
Yes.
South Africa is technologically advanced, the economy is strong, their currency is also strong. This is what is attracting most Africans to troop to South Africa. And please take note, it's not only Africans who are going there. There are thousands of Indians, thousands of
True.
Pakistanis,
True.
thousands of Lebanese, thousands of
Very true.
Chinese in South Africa,
Yes,
not
they
only
are.
Nigeria.
No, it's not
And
only
one
Nigerians.
one impression we have in Nigeria is that South Africans are attacking Nigerians. It's not true. They are attacking
From
foreigners. Be you a Nigerian, Zimbabwean, Lesotho, Swaziland,
Malawi, Lesotho.
Namibia, Zambia, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. They don't bloody care where you come from. It's not
That's
Nigerians
true.
alone. Please, people should get that very clear.
That is
So this
true.
is what is happening in South Africa.
That is true. I agree with you. We do have
Yeah.
lots of foreigners, in
Yeah.
Chinese, white men, Pakistans, Indians,
They,
Ah,
they, they, they,
Ghanaians,
they always
Malawi,
mention
Congolese.
Are you hearing me?
Yes,
yes.
Good. They always mention Nigerians for two reasons.
yes,
The population of Nigeria is 200 million. So, of course, when people want to troop out, if 1% of Nigerians move out, that runs into millions. So this is why there are so many Nigerians in South Africa. Then number two, majority of the Nigerians who are going there are into illegal businesses. Many
That
of them, many of them are doing legal businesses, like
that's
those in the
true.
universities, those in industries. They are very legal, their hands are clean, they have no problem with anybody. But majority of them, if you go to the streets of Hillbrow, like SLM Street, Twist
Yes.
Street, Cox Street, Claim Street, right up to Brown Fountain, what's it called? Picard, the whole of
Yes.
GP's Town, Yeovil, Louis Butter Avenue, up to Orange, is it Orange Grove or
May I
Orange
say
Grove?
something?
The whole of that area is dominated by Nigerians. And what are they into? Drug trafficking.
May I say something? You know,
Okay.
nearby here, there's a corner Primrose and Pipe Street. That place is
Yes, I know
full
that
of
street.
yeah, it's full of Nigerians, and they selling drugs there.
Tiger Beg,
Yes,
around Tiger Beg,
yes. Do you know why we call that place now? We call that place Lagos.
Lagos.
Yes, and then
So you see what I mean?
the other
Now,
one in High Point in Hillbrow, we call that place Abuja.
Haiti.
Wow.
Okay, so you see the point I'm making.
Yes,
Now,
there are too
this
many
is what
there.
is this is what is creating bad image for Nigerians. I remember when I was in South Africa, I went to Rand's Afrikaans University in Auckland Park. Can you
Oh,
hear me?
okay. Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, in Auckland Park. I went there to do something. I met a white man, and he asked me a very embarrassing question that Nigerians are into illegalities. How do we know that if we get close to you, you will not be involved in illegalities? So I told him, if Nigerians are involved in illegalities, I am not Nigerians. I'm a Nigerian.
Yes.
Nigerians are into illegality, they are Nigerians. I am a Nigerian. I'm not the one involved in illegalities. So anyway, as a result of all these problems, we were more or less, we were denied opportunities. And you cannot blame them because it just like, how do I put it now? I mean, you don't know who is who. You don't know who is who among Nigerians.
Yes,
So
that's true.
maybe looking, William Shakespeare said, there is no act of reading a man's mind from the constrictions on his face. Just by looking at a man's face, you cannot say the man is good or bad. So as a precautionary measure, they keep the whole of them aside. We don't want you to come near us. If you go and look for an apartment, if they ask you where do you come from, you are from Nigeria. Oh, they say it has just been taking this money. I'm sorry, no more vacancy. So these are problems Nigerians are encountering. I must
Yes,
be
that's
very
true.
But
That's
it's
true.
particularly drug trafficking. And one thing again in drug trafficking we should know is this: Nigerians don't import drugs to South Africa. They met it in South Africa. It is
Oh, okay.
nationals of countries that bring this commodity in containers. When they bring them, they now give it to Nigerians to go and sell on the streets. Nigerians are just hawkers or peddlers, drug peddlers. But the people bringing them in containers are not Nigerians. They are nationals of other countries. Can you see? Okay. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So
so here in South Africa, what we need is a solution to stop all this conflict because it's not safe for everyone. Even our kids, myself, we're not safe, you know? So we need to sit down and have a serious discussion about this. I mean, to our leaders, of course. Yes, they are corrupt. Everyone knows that they are corrupt, you know? But then this needs to stop. We should find a way to stop this, to put this to an
you
end,
see, may I come in?
please.
Now, to stop this problem is going to be difficult. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Crime rate in South Africa is very alarming.
Too much.
Foreigners did not bring crime to South Africa. They met it in South Africa. It's the outcome of apartheid in South Africa. Now, the government of South Africa is worried about drug trafficking because all the crimes committed in South Africa, in one way or the other, you link it with drugs. And all roads in South Africa lead to Johannesburg. If a man is to be murdered in Cape Town, in Vereeniging, in wherever it is, you discover that directly or indirectly is linked with Johannesburg.
Yeah.
If the guns do not come from Johannesburg, the drugs they took come from Johannesburg. If the
Yeah.
drug is not from, the plot is from Johannesburg. Everything revolves around Johannesburg. And that is where Nigerians are residing, selling the drugs. So to solve this problem is going to take a lifetime because now, for example, the guns they use in South Africa, these are guns that have been in circulation since apartheid era. They've
Yeah.
been looking for these guns. Now, in South Africa, the ballisticians, if you fire a gun to kill somebody, they can tell you the gun that killed that person. They have advanced to that level. So they keep on looking for that guns from now till whenever they find it. So many illegal guns are in circulation. So this is one reason why this problem cannot be solved easily. And another problem is this. During apartheid era, the government of the white government and the whites. Any white man can apply for the gun license and it will be given. The blacks were not given. When
Yes. Yes.
independence in 1994, Mandela felt that if we take the guns from the whites, the blacks will massacre them. So we cannot take guns from them. And South Africa is a non-racial society. Race do not determine your capabilities and limitations. So if the whites own guns, the blacks should also own guns. So the black people, they started applying for guns legally. So the amount of guns in circulation right now is uncontrollable. So this is not a problem we can say, let us work out a 3-year plan to make South Africa a crime-free society. It's not possible. And when we are talking of crime in South Africa, we don't mean the armed robbery you have in Nigeria. No. Over there, a man can be shot dead any moment and nothing will happen because the
Last
police is
night, people were shot dead.
the police is overwhelmed with a lot of problems. They don't know how to tackle. So it's not a problem. I mean, first of all, the South African government should fight corruption in government. When they fight corruption in government, then they will have more resources to spend on the needs of South African people. They are doing their best to some extent. For example, the health services in South Africa is almost free.
Yeah,
If
it
you
is.
have a child, yes, if you have a child in South Africa and it is discovered that you cannot pay the school fees of that child, there are programs in place to take care of those children and make sure they remain in school. These are laudable programs. This, I mean, it's a kudos to the government of South Africa, but
And
they should do
also,
more.
they also give out food parcels,
Good.
like
And
food
there was
parcels.
what they call child support grant. I don't know if they have stopped it.
No, it's still there.
Good. Child support grant means if you have a baby up to a certain age, the government will be giving you stipend to look after the baby. All these are programs to cushion the effects of the post-apartheid era, the hardship in the post-apartheid era. But if they are able to stamp out corruption from the government of South Africa, all these foreigners we are seeing, there will be surplus jobs in South Africa. South Africans cannot, South Africa will not be able to occupy all the available vacancies. The amount
No,
of money they are siphoning, through corruption is very frightening. This is what is causing the problem in South Africa.
that's true. That's true. So, what what do you think? Like, what do you think we should do? But then I'm thinking that this operation Dudula and stuff, it should proceed with their plans. I mean, for undocumented foreigners to go back to their countries. And then once they've got papers, they've got visas and everything, they welcome back into South Africa. Because of once you've got papers, you've got visas and things, you pay your tax. And those taxes, that's what they do, child support grant, or old pensioners and stuff. Without that, you cannot. And if you
I
aren't,
think the South African government should
Mhm.
boost the security operatives in the country. They need more
Mhm.
security operatives, and the undocumented immigrants, they should find solution. If they should go back to their various countries, they should do that, because Nigeria did the same thing before. Ghana did the same thing. Well, during the time of Ghana must go, that Nigeria get rid of all Ghanaians in the country. So if they believe that these foreign nationals are causing too much problem in the country, they can deport them, send them back to their various countries. So
No,
instead of killing them they should send them back to their countries, because Nigeria did that peacefully at that time by telling Ghanaians to leave the country peacefully. They gave them deadline. So they should do the same thing. This idea of killing is embedded in the violence prevailing in the
no,
country prior to the influx of foreign nationals. Like what Mr. Akpojebe, let me finish first. Like what Mr. Akpojebe just said before that, they have this history of violence in South Africa,
Yes.
because telling foreign nationals to leave the country should not be attached to killing them.
No.
Nigeria did it before. Many countries did it before. Telling foreign nationals, give them deadline to quit, to leave the country. So this idea of xenophobia, killing foreigners in the country is what we are concerned about. Deport them, send them away from the country instead of killing them. So violence
yes,
is there in South Africa. The government should tackle this issue of insecurity going on in the country. So they should not blame foreign nationals too much. Go ahead,
Yeah,
sir.
madam,
from my own point of view, let me speak this much. Look, from my own point of view, is that these foreign nationals, they have been given a deadline, which is on the first of December this year.
They didn't
So
leave.
now the issue is this
no,
one.
they have been given a deadline to vacate South Africa on the 1st of December this year. So everything
Madam, the
now,
issue
I
is
think
this.
now everything will be stable,
The,
and then they will start fighting again in December. That's what I
madam,
heard.
the issue is this. The government of South Africa, are you hearing me, madam?
Yes.
Yes.
The government of South Africa, they are doing everything possible to manage the situation because they knew what they went through during apartheid outside South Africa. There is a prison yard. It's not a prison yard as such. It's like a prison yard in a place they call Lindela,
True.
very close to Krugersdorp.
Yes, there
That
is.
is it's a deportation center. It's not a prison yard. It's a
Mm-hmm.
deportation center. So that is where they pack people to every day, and almost every day. Those they can transport home, like those going to Zimbabwe, they put
Mm-hmm.
them on trains. They take them straight to the border they call Bait Bridge and ask them to go back to Zimbabwe. But those from distant areas like Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and other places, it's not very easy to organize their evacuation. That is one problem the government of South Africa is facing. Now, the issue of murder in South Africa, killing people. Look, South Africa is not the same as West Africa. Their way of life and our way of life, they are radically different. To us in West Africa, if a man is killed, is something that is unheard of. It will be the talk of the whole neighborhood from now till eternity. But in South Africa, murder is nothing. For this reason,
Yeah, it's
during
not.
the war, during the war of apartheid, the society went violent. They were fighting the white men, and the white men were fighting them. So they got used to murder. This is how it is over there. So when they burn somebody, that is set somebody on fire, it means nothing to them. But to we in West Africa, it is something unheard of. How can you burn a human being? So these are issues we need to also try to understand in other parts of Africa. The crime rate in South Africa and West Africa is not the same. In fact, what we call crime in Nigeria is a place, I don't know what to call it. It's nothing in South Africa. Because a man can walk into another person's apartment, kill the wife, commit horrendous atrocities, and walk away. The police will go there, try to investigate what they can investigate. What they cannot investigate, they forget it. Now, to paint a clear picture of what is happening, in the city of Johannesburg alone, they have 35 cemeteries. 35 cemeteries in the city of Johannesburg alone. And a cemetery in South Africa, it's like, let me see. I'm trying to paint I'm trying to imagine the area. You see the whole of Orogbeni in Binikboma Hill, right to Ogbeson. That is half of one cemetery in in Johannesburg. 35 cemeteries in Johannesburg. Now, the biggest in the black area is at a place called Soweto. It's called Avalon Cemetery. Every week, from Sunday to Sunday, on the average, they bury about 90 people. Check the internet, you see it, because I checked it before coming on this program. They bury about 90 people in Avalon Cemetery alone in the city of Johannesburg. The 34 other cemeteries, they are also burying. Then the Indians and the Pakistanis, there are some people there who don't bury their dead. They cremate them, they burn them to ashes. So the number of people killed in the city of Johannesburg every day is uncountable. So to them, setting people on fire is just nothing to them. So
yeah, you just give us an insight to the violence in South Africa right now. Those of us who are watching from outside, we never knew that such violence. Yeah, it's true that it's rooted in the period of apartheid, looking at the history of the country. Yeah, Mr. Kodjebe, that is a very nice insight that you brought to us on this program today. I never knew. I never knew that such crime
you
is
see,
going on in the country. Because when you look at Africa, there are other countries. There are other countries in Africa that also have many foreign nationals. But we don't hear this history of xenophobia, the killings. Even in Ghana, they said that the Ghanaians are discriminating Nigerians. But you better hear any news from Ghana saying that Nigerians are being killed. Discrimination, yes, we can say yes to that. But the one of South Africa is too much attached with this killing of innocent foreign nationals. So, there is something. There must be a root cause of this problem.
Yeah, you see, the root cause is the history of South Africa.
Yes, you said it.
The history of South Africa is embedded in injustice. The white man wrecked on the black people. There are a lot of, I don't know if we have time. You see, they promulgated a lot of terrible laws which were in operation in South Africa during the apartheid era. For example, in the year 1949, they promulgated the Prohibition of Mixed Marriages Act. A white man is barred by law to marry, what's it called? I mean, a black and a white cannot marry in South Africa during the apartheid era. There is what they call the Group Areas Act. The Group Areas Act it was promulgated in 1950. It it made it illegal for for people of different races to live together. If you're a black man, you go to your black area and live. If you're a white man, go to white area and live. There's a place in South Africa they call Soweto. The people living in Soweto, they were living in a place they call Sophia Town. But when Soweto was created, southwest of Johannesburg, they moved them forcibly to Soweto to leave Sophia Town for white people. Also, District 6 in Freetown. I'm sorry, I said Freetown, in Cape Town. Now, there's what there are a lot of terrible laws they passed. The most terrible one is what they call the pass law. The pass law is it's like a passport. If you are moving from one place to another, you need to hold a passport in South Africa during the apartheid era. That passport carries your photograph identification. Now, it will give details of your place of origin, your employment record, tax payment, encounters with police, and a lot of other information in that passport, which they call Don't Pass. If you are caught anywhere in South Africa at any time without a pass, you are in for a very mighty trouble. That was the situation. So the people were scattered, the native laws and customs, traditions were broken down. So this gave rise to crime, prostitution, alcoholism, and a lot of things happened in that society. So actually, in my opinion, South Africans, they are adjusting to a new life. There are some people in South Africa, they call it born freeze. People born after 1994. I'm sure this lady is one of them. Those born after 1994, they did not witness apartheid. So the government is modeling their policies to make these people live a life different from what happened in 1994. That is part of the South African government policy. Education.
It's like a benefit. A benefit.
Not benefit. Not to bring up a responsible society. How children, how people, because the crimes they were used to, prostitutions they were used to, alcoholism they were used to. They don't want the born frees to live that kind of life.
Right.
So those who lived before 1994, in future, when they are all dead and gone, these born frees will now form a new South Africa. That is the policy the government is pursuing. So we praise the South African government for these efforts they are making, but they need to do more when it comes to corruption. The policies they are pursuing, there are too many, in fact, not too many, there are very many. They need money to fund these policies. The money is not there because of corruption.
No. So the corruption thing exists virtually in every country of Africa. I thought it's only Nigeria. So also in South Africa.
You see, one good thing, should I say good or bad things about South Africa is that they try not to expose most of their problems to the outside world. What they are going through in that country. If you go to Nigeria, Ghana, or any country today, or Kenya, or Zambia, they cannot tell you clear things, the things I'm mentioning now. Anybody who has never been to that country cannot tell you precisely what is going on in that country. So as far as crime is concerned, they control it. As far as their social problems are concerned, they control it. They want to do all they can. They want to do all they can to bring up a responsible society. But the main problem they are having is corruption. They have all the gold, they have diamond, they have the rutile, they have bauxite, uranium, they are all in South Africa. But the level of corruption is very, very frightening. Just like Nigeria, there's no difference.
Oh, go ahead. Let me comment to here.
Let me go ahead.
Go ahead.
To what Mr. Okajobo is saying here, that the ANC is very corrupt. It is corrupt indeed. 2 months back, there were the floods in KZN. People lost their homes, they lost lives. More than 300 lives were lost, you know. So what happened is that people donated millions for people to be, for their house to be rebuilt again, But then when the president went to KZN to say, where is the land where we should build houses for those people that lost their homes during the floods? What happened was that the money was nowhere to be found. It was 1 billion rand. The money was nowhere to be found. So obviously the mayor that side and the councillors, they took the money for themselves. They shared it amongst themselves. You know, they didn't help people there. And what happened is that when you say that, sir, when you say that killings in South Africa, is just a normal thing. When someone is died or shot in the street, it's just a normal thing in South Africa. There's a mob in Alexandra, a location. I don't know who reported that Nigerian guy that this person is selling drugs in our neighborhood, selling drugs to the children. They went to his house, and when they got there, they did found drugs, they found injections and stuff. Instead of those people taking that Nigerian guy to the police station with all those drugs as evidence, no, they fed that guy all those drugs, and that guy died on the spot, with those drugs. So I don't know, they just killing people instead of sitting down and saying that all undocumented foreign nationals should go back to their countries. So you just told me that this not the first time this will be happening in Africa. I didn't know. I was thinking this would be the first time in the whole continent of Africa. But then you've told me that no, it has happened in Ghana, it has happened in Nigeria. So they didn't kill people there. They just told them you people should go home, and everyone
Yes,
went back to their countries. Why can't
yes,
they do the same here than killing people? We shouldn't kill people. They should just tell them to leave.
Now,
exactly,
there's
exactly.
something I want to point out. When they talk of undocumented immigrants, they are creating the impression as if documented. No. Now, what happens is this: when they are going to South Africa, they obtain a visa, maybe visitors visa or conference or whatever it is. When they get there, they overstay. When the visa expires, they continue staying.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
if for example, the South African government says, if you have, if you're in possession of an expired visa, come and renew it. We will give you a permit to stay. They will surely go there and obtain the permit. But the issue is that, as a government, you cannot allow everybody to troop into your country. So if your visa is expired, you have to go home. So this is the problem. Not that they are not interested in regularizing their stay. They are very interested. But if you are unable to prove if you overstay your visa, if your visa is expired and you are still around, if you are caught, they will hand you to the immigration and you'll be deported.
That's true.
So this is just the crux of the matter. So it's not a question of saying they are not interested in regularizing their stay. But again, the South African government cannot just fold their arms and see people in their country committing crimes. You cannot, you don't know how to trace them, because every South African has got an identity card.
That's true.
That ID card, with that ID card, they can track you any moment. Let me tell you a story of what happened to me when I was in South Africa. I went to renew my permit. I could not satisfy the requirement, so I met what they call um, I've forgotten the South African word for it. Anyway, a man something like I can't remember. There's a word for it in South Africa. Anyway, so I handed my passport over to this guy as an agent to process it for me. Let me know the loopholes so that I know how I will be able to satisfy the requirements. I paid him, handed him my passport. This man disappeared. When he disappeared, I now went to a place they call Market Street Police Station at
Yeah.
number
John
15,
Foster.
John Foster, exactly. John Foster Police Station. And I complained that this is the problem I have. Then they asked me, who is the man? What is his name and everything? They asked me to go, leave my telephone number, then I left. After some time, Can you hear me, madam?
Yes, sir.
Good. I don't know if she's hearing me. Anyway. Anyway, when I left, after some time, I received a telephone call from John Foster's police station. When I got there, they handed my passport over to me. Then I asked them, how did you get it? They said they caught the man at a place called Mpumalanga, very far away from
So far,
Johannesburg.
yes.
Yeah, Mpumalanga. So they gave the passport to a police officer traveling to Johannesburg, and he delivered it at John Foster Police Station. They called me and I received my passport. This is because when I gave the man's name, they checked their system, they got his ID card number, and all the particulars about him are there. And that's why they were able to track him. If you commit a crime in South Africa and you are having an ID, it's just a matter of time. They will track you down. Don't be
That's true.
surprised you go to a post office, maybe to collect a mail. In the course of collecting the mail, when they punch your name in the computer, information about you will just appear on the screen, unknown to you.
Yes,
Yes.
the
All the
same.
crimes you've committed,
It's the same system that we are operating here in the West. Yes.
all the crimes you've committed. So the person will just call the police that a wanted man is in front of me, and so it's as easy as that. So when you are not documented, it's a
We
mighty
are very
problem
hard to find.
for South Africa. It's a mighty problem.
A very big problem.
This
That's
is
what
why the
Hope said
government,
at the beginning. Hope said that at the beginning that undocumented nationals in South Africa, it's very difficult to track them whenever they commit crimes in the country.
That's
Yes.
true.
yeah, you see murder cases, drug-related cases, abductions, human trafficking, they are normally committed by non-documented immigrants. And one thing again, which might interest people is that Africans, in fact, all what's it called, nationals in South Africa, they specialize in certain crime areas. What I mean is this: the Nigerians are into drug trafficking. The Zimbabweans are into, I mean, they are what's it called, hired
Fraud.
assassins.
And
If you want
fraud.
to, if you want to kill a man, just look for the Zimbabweans doing it. Not all of them, though. Pay him. You agree on the terms. You pay him. He will deliver the
Done.
goods. The man shot dead. When it comes to car snatching, that is car hijacking, the Mozambicans are specialists. When you come to bank fraud, how to defraud, I mean, steal money from bank accounts and things like that, Ugandans are specialists in that area. When you come to passport racketeering, how to forge passports, visas, and things like that, the Ghanaians are there. The Indians, no, this is true. This is true.
This is so
Indians,
interesting.
yes, the Indians and the Pakistanis, they bring the drugs in containers to the country. So each country, the citizens of each country, they specialize in certain areas of crime in the country. So the police is already aware of this. But the fact is, they are unable to track them because they are not documented. So this is the cause of the matter.
Yeah. It's hard to track them. It's hard. You know. Why is it that South Africa is having this issue of xenophobia attached to killing of foreign nationals? Because other African countries have many foreign nationals in their countries, but you don't hear this. You know, you don't hear killings. Many Nigerians have died in that country in the hands of South Africans. So, and we also watch videos like the one I played at the beginning of this program today. There are some people, some unknown men, hiding under wherever, you know, producing video to post threats, threatening foreign nationals in the country. How come the government is not able to crack down on these people who are committing crimes in the country? So, you know, please, if you can interview some people who appreciate that, we want to hear from the people.
Somebody posted something here. Leo Oliphant is likely to be a South African. He said South Africa is not economically free. 85% of the land is owned by whites. 95% of Johannesburg Stock Exchange is owned by white transnational companies. I mean, nationalists. Thanks for monitoring the background and the foreign national doing in South Africa. Okay, Now, this guy is telling the plain truth.
Very
When
true.
when Zimbabwe got independence, Zimbabwe and South Africa, they are not the same. When Zimbabwe got their independence, what they were fighting for was land. Land, that was what they were fighting for. While South Africa was fighting for equal rights and justice, a non-racial society. Now, in the case of Zimbabwe, things went wrong. In fact, one area we might discuss in future is what is making people to move into South Africa? What is driving them from home? This is an area that could be of interest in future. But in the case of Zimbabwe, they have a very, very serious land issue. And unfortunately, people could not understand the reasoning of Robert Mugabe, late Robert Mugabe. That is the root cause of the problem in Zimbabwe. It's not that the Zimbabweans are unable to manage their economy. They have a problem linked with Britain, which has not been resolved. Now, in the case of South Africa, there is still injustice in the system.
Yes.
Although they have got their independence, according to this guy, which I believe, 85% of the land is owned by whites. And when we are talking of this land, these are productive farmlands, just like the Zimbabwean case. 95% of the Johannesburg Stock Exchange is owned by white transnational companies. So a situation whereby less than 1% of the population is controlling the wealth of the nation, it will never be peace. This is one solution. The lady was talking about solution to the problem. The inequity in the system has not been corrected. Because during apartheid, the whites did not train the blacks. They refused to, in fact, they denied them quality education. There's what they call Bantu education, which they gave to the blacks.
Yes.
So when independence came in 1994, they were not ready for leadership. They were not qualified black people to run the system. So this is one of the reasons why they asked the whites to remain.
They were being oppressed for a very long time. But you have to look at the intergenerational trauma, the effects of colonization, the effect of slavery, the effect of oppression imposed on their ancestors, how it's affecting the younger generation. So unlike those countries that did not experience colonization, Nigeria, for instance, we didn't. I know there are some parts like the Benin Kingdom, a little bit, not so much. But compared with the African Americans, the same thing happened to South Africans right now, the black South Africans, that their ancestors suffered in the hands of the colonial masters. So, yeah, that is my summary of what is going on in South
You
Africa.
see, what Leo Oliphant is saying has a lot of truth. For the society to stabilize, the wealth should not be concentrated in the hands of few. 85% of the productive farmland belong to whites. So if you are a black man and you want to go into farming, in the first place, the land is not there. And when the whites, farm their land or they make their money, they don't keep the money in South Africa. They send the money back to Europe. I hope you are getting me. So all the blacks are doing is they work as laborers, cleaners, drivers, and what have you. But when it comes to real business, the blacks are not there. In fact, there are no opportunities for them. That's another area I failed to mention. The opportunities given to the black South Africans is strictly limited. There are a lot of regulations in place which they've not been able to do anything about. So for that society to stabilize, they just have to take some extraordinary measures. But the fear is that if these measures are too harsh, what is happening in Zimbabwe today will start to happen in South Africa.
True.
Exactly. It's the same thing in the US. So the inequality is hard for them to reverse it. That is how the country was built. This country was built upon inequality. Now, how can we reverse it? It's difficult. Even some black people even grow up.
Now, you see, this man.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, madam. I'm sorry. This man called Leo Oliphant seemed to know a lot about South Africa. I'm sure he's writing from South Africa. These multinational companies, many of them don't pay taxes appropriately. When they make their money, they bank it in tax havens, in the Caribbean, in Switzerland, or whatever it is. So whatever wealth they generate is not circulating for progress of society. We are not saying that they should dole out money to the black people, no. But they should go to schools, gain their education, give them reasonable employment so that they earn good income, just like the other their white counterparts, and they organize their lives. But the limitations they are grappling with because of the inequity in the system is hindering progress in South Africa. If there's to be true reconciliation, they just have to do something about it. And one thing the whites should know is this: today is the blacks they are dealing with. Whose turn will it be tomorrow? Nobody knows. If they succeed in driving the blacks away from South Africa and the jobs are still not available, they will turn their attention on the white people. So the whites should realize it now. The earlier, the better.
I agree with you. I agree. So, from me here in South Africa, I will surely do that. I will surely try to interview people and hear what they say, you know? And then once I get a thing or two, and then I'll send it to you guys so that you guys can see and hear what people are saying. I won't only interview Nigerians, I'll also talk to Zimbabweans, South Africans, you know, etc., etc.
Yeah, please do that. Interview people around. We want to hear from the people.
Right.
So I think we have discussed enough. We just have to do a summary of what we have discussed about so far. You know, we started the program with playing a video of a unknown man who was threatening to kill foreign nationals because of this upcoming election in South Africa coming up in 2024. That any foreign national spotted supporting a certain political party in the country will be attacked, even killed. So, you know, this also attached to this issue of xenophobia going on in the country over these years. So, right now, what exactly is the government saying over the issue of xenophobia prevailing in the country for a very long time now? You know, also
Okay. About
details.
the xenophobic in South Africa, the only thing that our president is saying that we should uh, all be one, we should be united and say no to xenophobia. So that's why this our Operation Tutula Ntantalax is saying that we South Africans are not xenophobic. We only want the undocumented to go home.
You know
So
why it will be a
I
very
think
difficult.
diving, that can diving. I'm thinking that he's diving because of the president clearly said that we should say no to xenophobia, and yes, that's true. We all should say no to xenophobia, but then the president himself should also do the right thing of looking into this matter of this undocumented immigrants. You know.
You know one thing, Hope. According to my understanding, I have some people in South Africa that told me what is going on in the country regarding this issue of xenophobia. The
Okay.
government, the government cannot do it alone. The government definitely rely on the security operatives to carry out this mission, you know. But according to what they told me, they said the security operatives are so corrupt. Some of them are even collecting money from rich foreign nationals in the
True.
country. They will come
True.
to their houses, raid them, collect their money, steal from them. So corruption exists in every fabric of the society. It's difficult. The government might be preaching that they should calm down, you know, but security operatives are the ones that are going to, you know, tackle this issue of insecurity in the country. But if the security agents themselves are corrupt, it will be very difficult. So that is what we are talking about right now. Somebody told me from a very reliable source that
Mm-hmm.
some security operatives in South Africa used to collect money from rich foreign nationals. Some of
That's
them
true.
some of them target the rich foreign nationals so that they can get some money in their houses, collect their computers, collect their cell phone, their iPhones, and all that. That is what they said is going on in South Africa, and it's truth. I believe that.
Last week, I was walking down the street. I saw a police van. It parked there in this Nigerian shop. And then the police didn't come out of the van. He just said, "Hey, my G, come here." And then when the Nigerian guy went to him, I know that Nigerian is selling drugs. And then that police said, "Hey, please recharge me." And then whenever we are planning to raid those shops and stuff, that policeman is the very same policeman that's going to tell that Nigerian that, you know what, we are coming to raid. Yeah. So clean your shop, clean your shop. So it's true when you say that our guards, they collect bribe from foreign nationals. That is true.
Now, there's something we should know. Also, there is no society in this world, there's no country in this world where you don't have corrupt men in their police force or security forces. All countries of the world have got some doses of corrupt people. In fairness to South Africa, their justice system is still working. It's not like what obtains in most African countries. Their justice system, although I had cause to be angry with certain judges when I was there, but on the whole, there's still sanity in their justice system. Um, the problem actually they have is economic. Economic problem because the money is not there to solve or to implement their policies fully the way they really want it. Look at the companies now from what Mr. Oliphant is saying. Look at the companies. They are not even paying taxes appropriately. Apart from owning all the manufacturing companies, the farmlands and what have you, they are not paying taxes appropriately. So where will government get the money from? I agree there's corruption in South Africa. There's need for equity to exist in that society. The imbalance between the whites and the blacks is very, very frightening. Now, for example, when you go to Sandton, the city of Sandton in Johannesburg, it's like living in a paradise.
Yeah.
Their next door neighbor,
Alexander.
Alexandra, there you have the poorest people in the world.
True.
They live in shack houses. So how do you reconcile such irreconcilables? So if the whites really wish to live in South Africa, they just have to change their style because they are saying they are Africans. But when it comes to developing the society, they really don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. So, frankly speaking, I have a lot of pity, sympathy for the black South Africans because they got what they never bargained for. They never invited a white man to come and live in South Africa. The white man went there on his own and became a master. I don't know how to describe it anyway. So that is just that. From the look of things, this generation of Africans will not be able to enter the promised land, even if we're able to see it. But the born frees have got an opportunity to create a better future because the problems they are grappling with, they are monumental.
Learn from you as well. You were able to explain what is going on ground. We are not there. We just watch from distance. So thank you so much for your contribution today and your time. We appreciate that. Mr. Akpojebe, thank you so much. I think it is
Thank you
time
too.
for us to say bye to all our viewers. Mr. Leo Oliphant, thank you. I'm expecting your phone call on WhatsApp. We have our contact information here. If you check the scrolling bar here, we have the phone number, the email address, and the website to contact us. So please call me on WhatsApp. I will appreciate that. We would like to bring you to the program. Tell us if you are from Nigeria or you are joining us today from South Africa. We want to know. We need to bring you to the program so that you contribute. Thank you, everybody, for all the viewers today. Please, if today is your first time of watching our program, please consider subscribing from YouTube and like our page on Facebook. We appreciate you all over these years that we have been operating Nebo TV. It's always up and on. Sometimes I will be here, sometimes I will be, I'm a busy person. I have a handful of activities that I'm running. sometimes even last year for almost 1 year, I was not frequent on Nebo TV because I was engaging in another project. So this September I'm going back to school as well. I might not be frequent like this again. Maybe Hope will be joining Mr. Akpogede sometimes to manage the program. So Hope, we appreciate you today and your time. Thank you so much. Mr.
Thank
Akpogede, thank you. Thank you all our viewers, and we'll say bye and have a wonderful day. Thank you
Okay.
all.
Bye.